You know when the saliva goes down the wrong hole?
It's too early for this, bro.
What's going on, crypto fam? Happy Friday. And welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. I am one of your co-hosts, David, and we are coming at you from our studio here in today's beautiful weather, Sin City, Las Vegas, with our week daily live show. Before we get into the content, real quick disclaimer. None of us here are financial advisors, so please never take anything we say as financial advice. Do your own research. That being said, I'd like to introduce you to your co-host, my co-host, Big Rob. What's up?
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. You keep saying co-host.
What am I
That's
supposed to say?
incorrect. It's tri-host. You want to know why we tri-host? Because we got the triple cams up in this baby.
The triple.
Here we got our boy.
Except no
Eduardo,
one on the Dodgers.
Ricky
except
Ricardo.
except no one on the Dodgers hit the triple because they suck.
Dang.
Baseball sucks.
What's up,
anyways.
Eddie? How you doing?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
What's up, bro?
All right.
Good,
So, you know, it's a special day when we got Eddie and Forrest on the show today.
And Rocco.
And Rocco.
And Robin.
And you know, the Eddie
And
camera is actually Rocco's camera. So Rocco has no camera today. Sorry, Rocco.
This is messed up.
Now, eventually, when we collect enough income and we actually start making money here, we can buy another camera.
Might I hit the corner of Tropicana and Arville. Try to raise some money for this channel.
That's right. All right. So, how's everybody doing?
We're doing good.
You doing good?
Yeah.
You excited?
It's Friday.
Bitcoin's pumping. You know what that means? I'm putting on the bullhorns, baby. Let's go.
You were just
Bull market is back.
you were bare yesterday. You don't remember that?
Bitcoin's at 21,000.
You were literally a bear yesterday.
Well, you know what?
You flip-flop more than politicians, bro.
Well, your boy
Make up
wears
your damn
flip-flops,
mind.
Okay. All right. So,
We only got 11 people in here. What the hell's going on?
what is
Must be the
going on?
thumbnail sucks.
Dude. Well, we got 11 likes and 11 people, so
That's good.
I can't call nobody out. So,
Yeah.
anyways, let's get the show going. Eddie, want to do a
Yeah.
roll call for us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Where we at? Why you loud? First in the chat. Gang, I
Gang,
guess. Gang. Marky Mark, Brokey Yoshi, Stereo 2, AZ Chris K, Nordy Guy, and Sir Babe, Lala Bell. Who else am I missing here? I think that's it, guys. Where's everyone at?
Where's everyone at? It's
Everyone
Friday.
Sleeping? Come on, wake up.
If you ain't here, you better be buying crypto.
I
Not
don't know,
financial.
man.
Not financial advice. I think people knew Eddie was coming, so like, nah, he's
You guys told
intimidating.
him I was coming? Wow.
He's intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
All
right.
right.
Very fun.
So we are covering a couple things in case you didn't catch the thumbnail and have been off of Twitter, crypto Twitter. Solana has a new phone coming out. You're gonna get our thoughts on the Solana phone. Are you gonna
free?
pre-order one?
No.
It's not free. No, not.
It's
sorry,
not like a
Eddie.
government phone. It's not free.
You know, it is free. Dogecoin, Dogephone.
Yeah, I
Anyways.
feel like I would compare the Doge phone to like a track phone. You know, like one of those prepaid ones you just
Yeah.
like put money on.
Doge Lamars.
And people are like, "How many minutes you burn this week?" All right. So
Is Niami new?
Niami?
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 bug.
I don't think so. Niami. Hola. Welcome, Sin City Crypto. Now, let's take a look at crypto markets. Oh, by the way, and as we mentioned, we do got Forrest on today.
Yes.
We're excited. Absolute mastermind, TA, guru, genius himself. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of glance over the markets,
Graze.
graze over the markets, let you know where we're sitting, and then we're going to have our homie give you his insights on what the trajectory is. Now, Bitcoin, $21,160.34. We're moving, baby. You know what? This $20,000 mark / resistance, support, whatever you want to call it, looking like it's going to be more of a support. And, you know, we did discuss, was this 17,000? Was that the bottom? I still believe no. I still believe we
no?
got further downward movement. However, you do need to prepare. You do need to think that that was the bottom. I mean, it is possible. You know, there could be different sentiment on the traditional markets. We got green days in Wall Street, but you know, if I had to put percentage on it, I'm still sticking with about 25%. That was the bottom. 75% will be testing newer lows, at least on the short term. Now, So taking a look at where's this price movement come at? Because we were at damn near 20,000 24 hours ago. So we've been over 2,100 since for the last
Volume
7
is still
hours.
kind of low though. Well,
Yeah. Volume still at 65 billion, well off of where we were. We were about 150 billion. Kind of in that when we were in the bull market, it was around 150 billion. I think I saw even 200.
on
the 24-hour volume.
You're typically going to see more volume on selling days, anyways. But yeah, we've gotten over 200.
Anyway.
Are we buffering? We're good.
All right.
Okay.
Then we also got Rob Leduc up in here as well. Good to see you back in here. All right. Now, so Ethereum's been playing around with this $1,200 mark. Ethereum's outperforming most of the top assets here. So if you're a big Ethereum maxi, if you like the potential entry and exit position of picking it up now before the merge, and then either holding it through there or not, you never know. So taking a look, we also have see XRP's been moving a lot, man. 10% up, man. Did you buy XRP? I know you were talking about it.
I've been buying XRP.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't deny myself anymore.
And Cardano did say they're gonna delay their was a Vasco hard fork. So surprised that they didn't get a pullback. Every time one of these major projects have a delay or something on the roadmap gets pushed back, usually you get a pullback in the market as well. But a lot of green there. So this is not a surprise. I mean, Cardano kind of takes a while to come out anyways. So I don't know. Anyways, taking a look here at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we are at a solid 11. So been here for 3 days. Market is kind of neutral as of lately. And so with that, I mean, I don't know. And then we got crypto bubbles here and everything in the green today. We have the Axie Infinity up 20%. David, you buying any Axie Infinity or what?
No, but we got some Axie Infinity news.
Oh.
Very bullish.
Okay.
Very, very
that
bullish.
Would probably explain the pump here. Also, Polygon Matic, one of our favorite projects. A lot of movement. So, very excited with that. And then,
You think Polygon, obviously, we know what they do, right?
yeah.
Do you think Polygon will still be relevant once sharding hits the Ethereum network?
Supposedly, when sharding hits the Ethereum network, it's supposed to be 10 to 20%. It's supposed to scale by 10 or 20%.
Right.
That thing's damn slow already. And so, that I guess that's the first layer of sharding or but the first initial rollout. So, I mean, it's pretty damn congested already. Just the fact that you have to pay gas fees or, the gas fee war, it's because you can only process 11 transactions per second. Is it 11 or 15? Somewhere there. Anyways, it's less than 20.
Yeah.
And so you can only process a handful of transactions. And then on top of that, everybody's fighting for the spot. So when you increase it by 20% or whatever it is, initially, I don't know, man. Not I don't see Polygon phasing out for that reason. Now, maybe 10 years from now, let's say the Ethereum roadmap, everything, who knows? You think the merge will be here within 10 years?
But you do. I don't know.
So anyways, as long as they, for what they have planned out or roadmapped out, and maybe 10, 20 years, it's not necessary, but you got to remember the blockchain trilemma.
Yeah.
So it's scalability and security. Decentralization obviously is the third one, but scalability and security, those are the two that a lot of chains have problems with.
Right.
And so as you scale, it's harder to secure the network. And so the idea in general where you have the base layer, Ethereum, secures the network, you don't need to scale it exponentially. You just need to keep it so that way it's efficient. And then if you just leverage all of your layer 2s and and all of the sharding chains as well, if you leverage those, then you could keep your security and you could scale without compromising the security. And so, to answer your question, I don't think Polygon's going anywhere. And I think it's advantageous for Ethereum and just layer 1s in general to use what's at their disposal in the ecosystem to better their platform. So there you go.
I just for me, it's like if it's similar in comparison, Polygon to ETH with sharding. Why would you go to a layer 2 when you can just stay on the layer 1?
It's not that it's similar. It's that it's a tool that makes it better. And if Ethereum's base layer is already a tool,
Bam!
What's up?
We got a new member.
Oh, we got a new crypto fan member.
Rob LeDuc.
What up, bro?
Duke. We'll call him Duke, the man, the Duke of England.
Can we call him Dookie?
No. What the hell's wrong with you?
That used to be my dog.
Call you Dookie.
You had a dog named Dookie?
Yeah.
You would have a dog named
You
Dookie.
would
His
have
name
a.
was Dookie.
You would have.
I used to call him Duke, but his name was Dookie.
All right. Yeah.
Was
So,
he brown?
anyways, I don't want to spend too much time on the Ethereum, but basically, Polygon's a tool that helps Ethereum's network. It eases congestion, and right now there ain't even that many people using Ethereum in comparison to what it could be on a global scale. If it ends up being a financial infrastructure, if it ends up being the software of the future, the smart contract leader of the future, it's gonna be 1,000-fold more transactions than it is now. So even if you do scale it up and there's no way, and I'm no cryptographic engineer, but I'm just thinking in my own thoughts that there's no way that thing will ever be as fast as efficient as layer 2s built on top of it. And it's always going to leverage that, especially if they want to keep their security. And I mean, we see Bitcoin security. That's creme de la creme, right?
Yeah.
But they only do how many transactions?
It is the gold standard.
But you can run Lightning Network on top of it, and you can process 1 million transactions per block. Doesn't really matter. For in between blocks, you produce a block every 5 to 6 minutes. You can process 1 million transactions on Lightning Network. Now, I will say that at the moment, Lightning Network they can do like 10,000 transactions or something. I was having a debate with somebody on this, and they're like, well, Lightning Network isn't whatever. They still have scaling issues, but
I'm saying if apples to apples, right? If it's the same, are you using layer 1 or layer 2?
it depends. If I'm buying a cup of coffee and it costs me a half a penny to use Polygon, then yeah. But if I'm gonna go buy a cup of coffee on Ethereum network and it costs me $8 in a transaction fee, what obvious answer here would be to use your layer 2. And I think the gas fees are going to go down with scaling, but I don't think they're going to be anything comparable to less than 5 cents.
Right.
And I mean, I go to the gas pump and it's like credit or debit. And then the debit costs me 35 cents. The credit doesn't cost me anything. And I'm like, F that, bro. I'm going to go with the credit.
Right.
Even though it's 35 cents, it's not going to break the bank, but it's a cheaper option, so I'm going to use it.
Right.
So it really doesn't matter to me.
You're just cheap.
I am cheap.
You call me cheap over here. Anyways, speaking of cheap. All right, let's. I want to show you guys a couple things real quick, and then we can get to our man Forrest. So, Rocco, pull up my left. So here we have 10 projects that are gathering major VC interest on Twitter. So I'm not showing you these saying, hey, go degen into these or FOMO in, but just what's gaining some traction in the world of venture capitalism. Alluvial, number one, getting a lot of love from Coinbase, Paradigm. You have Panoptic. Gemini is interested. Polygon is interested. Giza, Galaxy Digital. I wanted to show, where is... right here, A16Z. Looks like they're pretty bullish on a couple ones. They're bullish on Giza. They're looking to put some money into Abacus Network. Now, haven't researched these or don't really know much about them, but this was pretty cool to share with you guys. So go ahead and when your show is done, if you want to, see these more in depth, go ahead and just pause here and you'll see all of them. Now, what are the top investments of tier 1 funds by current rate of return on investment? So let's take a look at Alameda, right? Their biggest return was their investment in Polygon, followed by Solana and the Steppen coin, Andreessen Horowitz. Their best returns were from Solana and Axie. Three Arrows Capital, which apparently 166x and 144x wasn't enough to keep them from being absolute complete degens and losing everyone's money. Pantera Capital, Cosmos was their biggest return on investment. And then Coinbase Ventures, you had Polygon. A lot of Polygon. Coinbase, Binance, you have Alameda Research, Galaxy Digital, Animoca, Sequoia. All these guys had put money in Polygon. So is Polygon now too big to fail, Robin? Polygon too big to fail?
Definitely not going anywhere, man. Here to stay. That's what I'm saying.
A lot of investments in Steppen too. See 4 or 5 right off the bat right here. So
I don't know. They haven't. I haven't heard of any security issues or any flaws or any bugs in Polygon, right?
No.
Compared to some of the other top projects,
Right.
and so, and Polygon essentially is what Ethereum's trying to be,
Right.
but it's already there. So.
All right.
I don't know. Taking a look at the traditional markets, a lot of green, baby. A lot of green, man. So NASDAQ up over 2.3%. So a lot of movement in markets in a positive way. There was, we had 10 out of the last 11 weeks have been red weeks for the stock market. And I think that's like the first time that's happened since 2009. And so, are we due for reversal? Did we hit the bottom when it came to stock market?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I mean, I don't think we're even close.
Because of that, I do think we're going to have huge pullbacks when it comes to Wall Street. And because we're going to have huge pullbacks in Wall Street, I still think we got another at least 20% to go down.
Right.
What do you think?
20%. 20% is their benchmark for a recession.
Yeah. I heard some analysts talking about as much as 50%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've already had a pretty significant. I mean, taking a look at the S&P 500.
I think if you go year to date, Robin, it'll show you 20% from year to date.
Yeah, I mean, here we're already 4,700. Oh yeah, we're down.
Here, I can measure it real quick.
You can measure it? Yeah. So looking at the 5-year, I mean, another 20.
You were looking at the S&P,
50,
right?
Yeah, another 50%. Jeez, man. That would put us back, if hypothetically speaking, we had a 50% drawdown.
Year to date, we're down 25%.
So we're down 25%. So yeah, some people calling for Wall Street to drop another 50. I mean, not out of the realm of possibilities, but I think highly unlikely in my opinion. I mean, back in 2018, we're at $2,600.
NASDAQ year to date, sorry to cut you off, down 30%.
Yeah, NASDAQ's a little bit more else. But, I mean, we would have to go back. Because we need $1,800. Basically 2013. To get a 50% pullback from where we are now would put us on par for where the economy was in 2013. And I just think that's a little drastic. Now, people are saying that, we're due for this major correction, this major pullback in the economy. We haven't had it since, 2008
Right.
or 9. And then before that, it was in the 80s. So, it could be all lining up. I mean, I would honestly, as crazy as that sounds, remember when people were talking about, $8,000 Bitcoin, and we were up in here laughing like, realm of possibility
Pump
now,
your
right?
brakes, my friend.
Yeah. So, if you look at, anything's possible in the markets, especially when it's already going that direction.
Right.
If we were in the middle of a bull market, obviously that would be pushed aside. But we don't know how low this is going to go. We don't know how low the global markets are. We are one more black swan event from being kind of likely that we pull back 50%, right?
Yeah.
You never know,
A
man.
Black Swan event like
Yeah.
Three Arrows Capital being insolvent and everyone finding out who they had there.
Or a black swan event, people go burn down the Supreme Court, I got no comment on this.
On the Roe v. Wade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's best. We don't comment on it.
Yeah, we're
All
on a
right.
crypto channel, but I will say, man, is a lot of political shakeup going on in the world right now.
That's
but,
right.
All
Robin?
right, now without further ado,
Wait, before we bring him,
What's up?
please, no. Hey, I'm looking to scoop up Ethereum. Is this a good place to buy? None of that shit, all right?
Okay.
Please. Without further ado, let's go ahead and bring our friend, Mr. Forrest. One day I'm going to learn how to pronounce your last name, my friend, I promise, from Crypto Stackers Pro. Welcome back. Sincere Crypto Forrest. Put the man's face on. What's up? Hey. You might be muted. We're muted. We're muted.
There we go. We got you.
We're good.
Can you hear me now?
We're good. What's going on, man? How you
Thanks
doing?
for having me on.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for coming.
Doing
Hey, were
well.
you in New York for the NFT convention?
I wasn't, working hard on launching this NFT project, but just not quite at the point where I think I'd get much out of being at the conference. So
I hear you.
want to do stuff organically too, anyways. So
Amen to that. We're an organic channel, so we believe in organic. And I like organic eggs as well. Well, we actually want to talk to you about your NFT project, but we'll do that at the end of the TA. Well, I wanted to get, before we jump into the charts for us, I want to get your thoughts on the whole Voyager situation, right? Come to find out, they had lent money, uncollateralized money, to Three Arrows Capital, about $750 million. Then they had to borrow money from Alameda Research, which come to find out they own 11.56% of the entire Voyager company. What are your thoughts on that situation? Should they have been bailed out? Do you think there's trouble looming at Voyager? What are your thoughts?
yeah, I mean, look, if Alameda owns 11.6% of the company and they want to bail them out, I mean, that's kind of their business and they can do whatever they want with their money. As far as like from a consumer perspective, I would just never use any of these centralized lenders ever again. It's just, it makes no sense. I mean, like you can get solid yields on DeFi protocols. And I know gas fees were really, really high for a little while. If you wanted to like throw some stable coins in Curve or Uniswap or whatever other platform or Aave, other lending platforms where you can earn a reasonable 4, 5, 6%, but you're taking on serious leveraged risk if you're giving your money to these platforms, because in order to offer you that 8, 9, for a little while, it was 17%. And the reason it was 17% is because Celsius and Voyager, I don't know if Voyager was 17%, but you could get 17% APY on your USDT and your stable coins through Celsius because they were just earning 20% in UST on Anchor protocol and just keeping the 3% difference. Right. So they have the same opportunities for the most part. I mean, they have some institutional borrowers, but those institutional borrowers, if they're Three Arrows Capital, you don't really want that risk either. So like, yeah, they have opportunities to lend to institutions, but those institutions are oftentimes under collateralized loans, or they're high risk loans. So that higher APY comes with higher risk that you're getting through these centralized institutions, and they have the power to take your money, right? You're not going to get paid back if they go insolvent. So I just would not use them, period. That's what DeFi is for. And I don't know, I mean, aside from Anchor protocol, which was obviously not very well, thought out, most other DeFi protocols that I'm aware of have been functioning as intended. Yes, people have gotten liquidated because they've been leveraged, maybe through Aave or through other means. But I mean, if you've just had your stable coins sitting in a Uniswap pool or a Curve pool, you've been earning yield on them at a fairly low risk in comparison to what everyone else has been exposing themselves to.
What about when it comes to like those major exchanges like Coinbase? And I know Voyager technically is a major exchange, publicly
They
traded.
don't even rank in the top 20, bro.
But yeah, on the global scale, definitely not on the same page as Binance and Coinbase. Now, I don't, for me, I don't look at 4% as enough risk versus reward. Even before all of this happened, I'm just like, you know what? I'd rather just have it in my own wallet than to be earning 4% and then have it on another platform. I don't know. I've always been a little sketchy on that. But I mean, do you think would you feel comfortable if you were, trying to pick up 4 to 5% by putting it on one of these centralized exchanges that we see commercials for, like FTX, Coinbase, or Binance?
Sure. So, I mean, my take on that personally, like, you can tell a lot just from the APY number, right? If they're offering 4 to 5%, probably chances are they're taking fewer risks with that. If they're a more major exchange, then yes, they're probably going to be more trustworthy and more responsible with that money, especially if they're based in the US, just based off of regulations. I'm a fan of Gemini. Gemini has a decent earn program, and I'm happy to throw some GUSD in there, or USDC, but that's mainly if it's just sitting on the exchange waiting for a capitulation event like we're in right now. To have liquid already on an exchange. Yeah, then I'll throw it in that earn program, maybe earn 2 to 3, 4% over the course of 9 to 12 months in the middle of a bull market while I'm waiting for it anyways, and just want it on the exchange. But I'm not going to like pull it out of my bank account and then throw it on a centralized exchange just to get 3 or 4%. I'm just more of like, hey, if it's on the exchange anyways, and it's an exchange I trust for the most part, I might as well just earn 3 to 4% on it, but definitely not trying to like degen it into, some riskier stuff.
You did one of your TA videos. The title was "Keep It Simple, Stupid," right? And I feel like we overthink so much. It's like if it sounds too good, it probably is.
I mean,
there's probably a ton of risk.
I've said it to some of my friends when they're like trying to maximize gains, and I'm just like, at the end of the day, especially if they're not like involved, they're not deep into the crypto world. I'm just like, hey man, if you just keep Bitcoin, for example, for 4 years, you're probably gonna get like 200 to 500% returns. Outperforming any hedge fund or asset class
and if
in
you're
history.
custodying your own coins, it's zero risk.
Yeah, and I'm just like, is that not enough returns for you? I mean, because if it isn't, then maybe investing isn't what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for
gambling.
Something. Yeah, maybe you're looking for something else.
Come to Vegas.
And then I want to know, man, are you getting this new Solana phone or what, man? This is buzz. This is a big buzz.
Forrest is a Solana fan. I'm sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I'll get the Solana phone because I've switched to Apple and I enjoy Apple. I used to be a big Apple hater, believe it or not. Used to be on Android.
Same here.
But I actually think this is really big. I think I don't know how great the phone is going to be, but in terms of exposure for Solana as a brand, so think about the biggest YouTube channels in the world. Aside from like Mr. Beast, they're all tech review channels. It's Unbox Therapy. I've got it pulled up. 18 million. I can't share my screen right now, but I'm just reading it off.
Point of view.
Unbox Therapy, 18 million subscribers. Marquez Brownlee, 14 million subscribers. Linus Tech Tips, 13 million subscribers. Mr. Who's the Boss, 7 million. Austin Evans, 5 million. Android Authority, 3.1 million for The Verge. So there's going to be like all of these tech review YouTubers are frothing at the mouth for different, cool, interesting content. And they all do cell phone reviews on every single phone that comes out. So when this phone launches and it's actually ships and it's in these tech reviewers' hands, it's going to be on every single channel. And it's going to give the mainstream world that may not even be in crypto. Yeah, there's a lot of crossover between people who are into tech and into crypto, but it's going to be a big buzz. It's going to be a really big buzz, and maybe it flops, but still, just for the Solana brand and getting, Bitcoin. If you think about it, it's just such a strong brand because when people think of crypto, they think immediately of Bitcoin.
Right.
Now you're going to have a situation where the entire world has heard the word Solana, and there's a lot of power in that. So even if it flops, I think in the long term, it's actually a pretty good thing.
I think it's good for.
Not to mention, I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. I think there's going to be synergies between Helium Networks 5G, token or 5G network and Solana. You could have a fully decentralized like Web3 phone, and that would be pretty cool.
That would be dope.
That's a cool.
That's a really good perspective, and I didn't even think about that. I mean, all these tech review. I mean, wasn't there one guy, Marcus Brown or Marquez Lee Brown, something? He's got like 20 million subscribers.
Yeah, I don't know. Unbox therapy is cool, man. I every time they have like, I'm always like looking up like workstation laptops and stuff like that for our production. We need pretty demanding stuff. So, anyways, I'm always on the tech channel, see what we can upgrade here in the studio. But I think what people are missing out, because there's a lot of hate going on for it, and a little clickbaity, as far as like, like laugh about it because of the outages. But
It was a weird laugh.
really bullish for blockchain, because I mean.
Yeah.
I don't care. There's going to be competitors. If it's not competitors to Solana, like
do you think,
another
do you think you could
chain,
pull Apple into the
but that's what I'm
blockchain?
saying. You could get other because whatever Samsung does, you can literally look at the track record. One of the phone platforms basically comes up with a new innovation or a new integration. The
They
other
all
one
copy
follows
it.
suit
Yeah.
right away. Fingerprint scanner, you see it right away on iPhone. You see it on Samsung. The eye retina thing, voice to talk, whatever it is. Where one does copy, they always copy, always. And so that I could see other competitors getting into the game, but not to mention, you also got competitors in the blockchain. So,
Right.
you could see an Ethereum phone or,
IoTex.
Cardano, IoTex, yeah. And the Helium thing, so that's a great perspective.
that is a great idea.
That makes
All right.
a lot of sense to plug Helium into that, man.
I mean, I think you kind of have to, honestly.
Right.
All right, Forrest, we are handing this channel over to you, my friend. Do your thing.
Sweet. I'll share my screen here. Hopefully you guys can see it now.
We're good.
All right. So looking at Bitcoin and just the overall market right now, it's very wishy-washy. Obviously, we're in a bearish trend, but we're very overextended in this bearish trend. So this is not an area in which that I really want to take a hard stance in one direction or the meaning we've already kind of recovered from some of these lows. We're up about 20% just in terms of Bitcoin. In altcoins, we've already started to see some really big bounces. Like in Solana, Solana's already up 56% from the bottom. Avalanche, right? Avalanche is already up 50% from the bottom, right? So I don't really want to be buying stuff that like 50% above the bottom as we head into resistance and potentially get ready for another leg down. So I'm personally just kind of in a bit of a no trade zone, right? I don't want to go short here. I think going short is incredibly risky because if we're looking for shorts, yes, we are trading with the trend, but we're also 45% below this trend line. For the same reason, right? It would be really unwise to say, look at like this trend line for Bitcoin and say, hey, we're 100% over this trend line. Let's look for some long opportunities, right? And then you get smashed with a 30% liquid or a 30% correction, and you get liquidated or whatever. So yeah, if we're in an uptrend, we want to be looking for long opportunities, but we want to be looking for the long opportunities off of the correction, right? Or when we come back down to a trend line, which we did here. So we'd be buying along the trend line. So much in the same way, we're in a bear market right now. I personally don't want to look for short opportunities until we start getting up until this trend line. And trend lines are subjective. There's multiple trend lines here. It's obviously we're gonna have to break through this first one before we can get to the second one. But I'd be much more content with opening short positions at $27,000, $28,000, depending on how long it takes us to get there. Maybe it's $24,000. But overall, really don't want to be taking a hard stance one direction or the other. A couple of things that I've been introduced to recently through the Crypto Stackers Discord group. Two things. One is this Coinbase Premium, right? So I'm tracking the Coinbase Premium, and I'll actually show you guys this explanation through Crypto Quant. Boom. Coinbase Premium is one of the indicators that shows a sign of whale accumulation. Coinbase Pro is considered to be the gateway for institutional investors' purchase of cryptocurrencies. So basically, the idea here is that during the bull market, because whales were buying all of these dips, the Coinbase premium was positive, and it was about $50 at any given time, meaning Bitcoin on Coinbase was about $50 more expensive than on Binance, right? So right now, the Coinbase premium is actually negative. It flipped positive, I believe, yesterday, but now it's back to negative. And this is just telling us that we're not seeing whale accumulation at these levels, but we did see what was potentially whale accumulation yesterday, which kind of led to this little green candle that we had and started moving up. But it seems like they've stopped the buying at these levels here. So that's an interesting thing that I'm tracking. Also tracking RSI at the 50 level, right? So this is not going to be necessarily a bottom indicator. I think a lot of people use RSI to try to find oversold and overbought conditions. But I've been studying RSI a little bit, and apparently with RSI, the most important level is the 50 level, the mid-range level. And if you can get up above the 50 level and start holding it, all right, that's very, very bullish. And when you get below the 50 level and you get rejected by it, when you try to get back up above it, it's very bearish, right? So for us to sit and say, hey, the bottom is in, right? This is very, very likely the bottom, right? Well, we want to start seeing some big green candles print that are the way RSI is calculated. It's basically just measuring the strength of the more recent candles versus a sample size of, I believe, the last 14 candles, right? So if we're seeing consolidation like we did here, really, really small, not volatile candles, and then all of a sudden you get 3 big green candles breaking out, all right, you see the RSI, the strength go up, hold above the 50, and then all of a sudden you're back in an uptrend, right? So that's what we want to see to be able to call a bottom. Personally, my next buy level, and probably my last buy level for that I'd dump significant amount of money into the market is 16.2K. These purple lines are actually super, super fun. This is a retracement tool that I programmed into the fib level tool, but they're not fib levels. They're actually risk reward ratios, right? So they're kind of like Sunso levels on Crypto Stackers Pro. Whoops, refresh that. But just built into the fib tool. And it's really, really interesting how you can kind of project support and resistance levels that may not have even happened yet. However, we can take the support and resistance levels off of the local high or the all-time high, and then this bottom down here at around 3K, right? And we're getting support at around $16,200, which is the 3-to-1 risk to reward level, right? So we can actually see that this level, for the most part, 19.6K, has held. We wicked below it, but all of the consolidation, all of the candles and price action for the most part has been holding above this 19.6K level, right? So the next level that I'm looking to buy is 16.2K. We actually have quite a bit of support there on multiple time frames. So if I go over to Crypto Stackers Pro here in the Bitcoin chart, I'll show you real quick couple of the ways that we find the 16.2K level multiple times. The first is, I believe, off of this last local high, right? And note that this could change. If we come back up to 24K, right, that would actually make 16K stronger support. And I'll kind of try to show you why in just a second. But we can see right now our $21,500 short level is actually holding as resistance. Right? As soon as Bitcoin pops up above 21.5, you can go short on 2x leverage, hide your liquidation point above this local high, which is going to be resistance on the way up. Not to mention Bitcoin getting up above $32,000 anytime soon, until we start printing candles up here, is a pretty good place and attractive place to hide your liquidation point, right? But if we can get up to this 3x short level and make a retest of 24K, which is support for multiple reasons, right? Like off of our last local high, this run up to $48,000. Again, we get more resistance here at 24K, right? So if we go up to retest 24K, that's a level that I'd consider shorting in the short term, right? Or maybe selling a little bit of the stuff that I've bought down here, right? To unlock some capital in case we go lower. And then if we go above 24K, I'll just buy in on the other side of it as we bounce and make support on top of it. But let's just say we go up and make a support at 24 or resistance at 24K and top out there. We can actually project using this 24K level over here where we'd actually get that support at the 2x short level, which would be, again, 16.2K, right? So we can get to 16.2K as support many different ways, not only with margin pressure levels, but also projecting the margin pressure levels off of this hypothetical scenario that we go and test 24K, as well as with our sunset levels, right? And then we also have, our easy bands, right? So we throw on the easy bands. We do have the green easy band pointed downwards, currently sitting at about $18.4 thousand. We could easily see this drift down to 16K or that 16.2K range in the next week or two. So to answer, or to kind of summarize, we're in a range right now. And right now we're sitting at $21,000. My trade range is essentially 24 to 25K as resistance and 16K or 16.2K as support, right? And I just want to be a buyer of support and a seller of resistance. Right now, we're just kind of bouncing off of this support right here. We've got resistance at 24 to 25K. This is where I'd potentially want to sell or go short. I don't really want to take a huge position here. This is still very overextended, very oversold in the on the higher time frames. So I don't want to sell off all my crypto here and then watch it like turbo run it back to 50K. But the next support level I want to buy aggressively is 16.2K. So aside from that, I do just want to pull up an interesting chart, and that's Netflix. And everybody's worried about a recession, but I think we're in a very innovative space, and that's why we're here. Right? We're here because a lot of us see the innovation that's going on in the crypto space. And if you have innovation and you have innovation that actually drives real demand and not just speculation, right? Crypto's biggest problem right now is it's very speculative. But once you create real demand, and who knows, maybe there will be real demand for this Solana phone. Maybe there will be real demand for a decentralized 5G network through Helium token. Maybe there will be real demand for blockchain gaming on Ethereum or Solana or AVAX, whatever that ends up being. But when you have real demand and you have innovation, right, like we did with Netflix, it doesn't really matter what the rest of the market is doing. If there's real demand backing something, the price is going to go up. So if we look at Netflix in the last recession, obviously I'm cherry picking an example of something that performed well despite a recession, but it's just to show that not everything has to dump and crash in a recession. Right? If there's real innovation and real demand there, it can still perform well. So if you'd have looked at Netflix and said, hey, this is a high risk stock, this is a fairly new company, obviously it had been around for years at this point, but it's a fairly small company in the grand scheme of things, wasn't necessarily massive in 2007. Hey, we're going into a recession. I don't like this. I'm going to sell all my Netflix stock or I'm not going to buy it. Well, you missed out on a run up of about 1,700%. And if we just go from the point of where the S&P 500 topped out here, we're comparing this to the S&P 500, right, to where it rebroke this all-time high, right? Yes, there was a nice drawdown or a big drawdown and crash along the way, but it was still a 10x opportunity over these, these 7 years or so, right? And if you tried to trade it in tandem with the S&P 500, you got burned because the crash in Netflix, right, came way later on when the S&P 500 was already in an uptrend and looking very bullish, right? And if you tried to, time it here, right, to where you weren't exposed to Netflix, you missed out on, right, this, 156% move from the beginning of the recession to the bottom of the recession, where Netflix was actually still performing well. So just food for thought. I'm not saying that crypto's going to be recession proof or recession resistant. In fact, I think most stuff that's speculative is going to only get worse. But the stuff that can survive a recession and can actually drive real demand, I think can still perform well, right? And I don't know exactly what that may be. It may be Ethereum, it may be AVAX, it may be Solana, it might be Helium, it might be something that hasn't even launched yet. But if you can create real demand, then I think it can perform pretty well overall. The last thing that I'll kind of go ahead.
I was gonna just mention. I know you're big in the price of oil. I saw oil has been kind of pushing back down towards the $100 a barrel mark, and so I've heard some analysts saying, and we topped out on oil. That the $120 a barrel was the top, and that now that they're refiring up coal plants and some European nations aren't acquiring so much oil from Russia. Now that shock has kind of played through the system that we topped out. And so I was just kind of curious on what you thought on that, because I know you're a big oil on the macro side on economics.
Yeah, so I've been trying to learn more about the industry. Basically, oil is, from my research, has just been it's very laggard, right? So um, you have these big spikes in price, which is all right. So a couple things. First, we had this big dump here with the COVID pandemic that basically made the oil companies take multi-billion-dollar. I think the oil companies lost like $70 billion, right? So, the current administration, I won't get political, wrote a letter or is upset with oil companies for taking record profits this year. But it's like, okay, yes, in this one isolated, and I'm not taking a pro fossil fuel stance or, negative fossil fuel stance. I'm not getting political here. I'm just trying to stay as objective as possible from an analytical perspective. Yes, they're taking record profits, but it was after record losses. They've never lost as much money as they did during the pandemic. So while these prices are very high, right, that incentivizes oil companies to expand, right, to get new drilling permits, right? But from my research, I found out that depending on where it is, apparently Texas, you can permit and get going and start drilling rather quickly. But in Alaska, for example, you might get a drilling permit and it may take 1 to 2 years before you can actually start making money off of that oil, right? If you can start actually producing oil and making money, right? So the production and the supply of oil is actually very slow to respond to price, right? So we've had demand be restored. Meanwhile, supply, and this is just U.S. oil production here, tanked, right? Went down, right? And we're starting to creep back up. These oil prices, high oil prices, are incentivizing more people to come in. Now, we do have an administration that is not super fossil fuel friendly, right? So, if I'm an oil company coming off of record losses, despite the fact that prices are attractive to drill new wells, I'm a little bit hesitant. I'm a little bit hesitant to start, ramping up production so fast because we don't have in the U.S. an administration that's super fossil fuel friendly, but also, what if we get another wave of COVID? What if we get more lockdowns, right? We also have an administration that is probably, as compared to, the alternative administration, going to be more, likely to impose lockdowns. And obviously that's, a little bit subjective. But if I'm an oil company, I'm looking at the current administration and trying to weigh the pros and the cons and the risks of expanding oil production, right? So it's just very, very laggard. And I do see that oil production in the US is starting to creep back up, right? Like you said, I believe Germany, if I'm not mistaken, who is very dependent now on Russian oil, is starting to ramp up production of coal and other alternative energy sources again. But those things are just very laggard and they take time. So yeah, we're 3, 4, 5 months into this Russia-Ukraine ordeal. And that's about how long you'd expect it to take some of this to play out. So yeah, I do expect oil to start creeping back downwards again, unless we get some other big news. I don't see how it wouldn't, but that is definitely a positive indicator in terms of CPI eventually. CPI is a laggard indicator as well, but over the long run, we want to see oil prices come down so that prices and other stuff can come down as well. So I do think there's a strong chance that oil has topped out. I'm not an oil expert, but I would imagine we're going to start seeing this. We're already starting to see this kind of trend line right here that I've drawn break downwards a little bit. We're testing it. Oil prices starting to come down a little bit. So yeah, I think that's, for a good thing for prices and a good thing for speculative assets, a good thing for the economy as a whole to not have super high oil prices.
Right.
Oil runs the world. So
for sure.
If oil is high. All right. So is there anything else you wanted to do as far as charts?
Yeah, I think you had one more you're going to talk about, right?
Yeah. So basically, this becomes, it gets to the point here very soon, right? Or not very soon, but in the midst of a bear market. If you can find altcoins, and, I'm not suggesting people invest in risky altcoins or anything like that, But if you have some money laying around and it doesn't take a lot of capital to do so, if you can find really solid projects that have funding to make it through a bear market, and that you expect to bounce back, that are bottomed out at ridiculously cheap prices. For example, perp, right? I'm looking at perp and I'm looking at Bitcoin. Now, imagine you bought in the bull market Bitcoin at around $35,000, $35,000. You bought on this big rich down. You got this nice bottom right here. You accumulated in this range, and then you timed the top perfectly. You sold the top at $69,000. You made you 2x'd your money. You made 100%. Now, in the midst of a bear market, you can also make a 2x fairly easily and potentially make much higher returns in the next bull market by finding stuff that have a good team, a good project, good funding, and are going to be around for a while, and are actually useful, like perp. And I'm not shilling perp here. I just think this is a really good example where from the top here, we've got perp down 98%. Yeah. Now, what that means is that in order for it to get back to its all-time high from the bottom, 50x, right? Just to return to its all-time high. Well, if you look into perp's tokenomics, perp's token is very correlated to the amount of exchange volume that they do, because it's essentially that when you stake perp, you earn revenues from the trading fees on perp's platform. Perp is just a perpetual protocol, is just a decentralized derivatives exchange, much like DYDX, Injective Protocol, and Monte Carlo DEX, and there's another big one that I'm forgetting. But when a coin's this bottomed out, yes, there's risk that it could drop another 50%, right? It could come down to 17 cents and all of a sudden you're down 70%, right? But when you're buying it at 98% off and you get just one of these, I mean, this looks like a tiny bounce, right? This is just a tiny little move. But in reality, you're getting almost what you would have gotten a coin if you timed the top perfectly, right? This little tiny move here from top to bottom is 67%. Right. And it wouldn't be out of the question to think, hey, if the market, if Bitcoin goes back up to test $24,000, $25,000, $26,000, maybe even $30,000, wouldn't even be too crazy to think that perp could come back up and test this little resistance level. Well, from the bottom here, right, that's 163% pump. Right. So there are cryptocurrencies out there and small cap altcoins that you can reasonably speculate on and see some pretty large returns in the midst of a bear market. So just something to throw out there. And I'm not saying, perp's a buy right now or anything like that, but just be aware of like, hey, if a project has a good team, it has a good product, it has funding, right, backing and funding and a treasury to make it through a bear market, right? It's not unreasonable to think that perp in the next bull market could be doing more volume, more trade volume than it did this past market cycle, and maybe double the trade volume and make it to $52. Well, making it to $52 from the bottom here, right? That's where those 90, 100Xs come in the next bull market. It's the stuff that was bottomed out 98%. Just like, for example, in the last chart I'll go over and hand it back over to you guys, just like if I can go to my layer ones category, Cardano last market cycle bottomed out at 99%. It went down 99%, right? But then at 180x, and you don't get that 180x unless you come down like 95, 96, 97, 98, 99%, right? That's how those like 100x pluses are born, by getting these altcoins that are just like completely have gone to zero, but still have a good team like Cardano has, funding, backing, right? And a good product, right? So there will be those opportunities out there to make those 50, 100x plays, but they can obviously take a very long time to manifest. Like you had to sit on Cardano and accumulate for a very long period of time in a bear market. So just something to be aware of.
And I think you brought up a really good point. When people hear bear market, their sentiment is always negative, right? But I feel like every situation, I'm a believer there's a silver lining. And in this scenario, when you're in a bear market, you really see which projects are solid, which ones it's almost easier to invest and easier to make money if you're patient. Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Like, in a bull market, every project has money, right? Every project has money to build whatever they want to build. But if they don't save it and they don't have funding to get through a bear market, they go out of business. They go belly up. So yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be projects like DYDX and Perp that have strong use cases, strong tokenomics that are going to bounce back just because they have a team building a product over the next 2 years or however long this bear market lasts. And meanwhile, there's no demand for their token. Demand is dried up, and it's dirt cheap to invest in these projects when nobody is investing in them. So yeah, 100%. It's easier to identify those cases.
I think, with the bear market, I mean, even if, I think everybody's so focused on buying the bottom that, if you can, get something that's 80% off of all-time highs, even if you were just to reach the same level
Right.
on the next cycle, even not even cross it, I mean,
10x.
it's substantial gains,
That's a 5x.
So, I mean, if you buy it at 80% off all-time highs, compared to like, man, I could have got it at 95% off. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know.
So Forrest, just kind of wrap up our segment here. So, you talked when you first came on, I talked about, you spent a lot of time on your NFT project, Disco Kitties. I was curious when I saw that you were allowing people to essentially pick their own traits and create their own NFT. What made you go down that road? Because from my personal experience, up until, literally today, your project was the only one that I heard that was allowing people to pick their own traits. What's the benefit of doing that versus the lottery mentality where everyone pays the same price and you might get a one of one versus you picking certain traits? Like, what was your thinking behind that? Why did you decide to go down that road?
Yeah, so a couple of benefits to that. Because the reward incentives for listening to music are going to be based off of trade volume, we're allowing the community to come in and design an NFT that will then be part of the collection. But they won't actually be able to mint that specific one that they designed. It's still going to be randomized, but they're just going to be populating the collection with ones that they've designed. So they have a 1 in 10,000 chance of minting that one. But we also want to spark trade volume early on. So they may mint like 3 or 4 Disco Kitties, not get the one that they designed, or you can design 5, 10, 15, 20 if you want. But they might buy it because once the project launched, there's probably still going to be cheap. I mean, a lot of projects trade for a period of time under what mint price actually was. So you may be able to turn around and just buy the one that you designed. Not only that, but also it kind of creates this holder mentality, which is usually good for price, but it kind of adds this special layer of like, hey, I designed this one myself. I don't want to sell this. This is kind of special to me. I'll buy 3 or 4, but this one that I designed, I'm just going to hold on to that one. And that'll just be my Disco Kitty that I, earn money with through listening to music. I'll trade and flip these other 3 or 4. So it really just helps personalize it, helps strengthen the community aspect of it. Also just to be different, right? We could just carbon copy what every other NFT project has been doing and not try to innovate. But I mean, where's the fun in that? We want to be building new stuff and experimenting. I mean, everything big that we've seen in the space for the most part has had some elements of originality to it. And we want to just, be different and continue to innovate in the space. So that's what we're trying to do.
That is such a interesting angle, right? Because if you don't, I thought personally, and this is me being ignorant to what was going on behind the scenes, but I was like, if I get to create my own, and then I assumed you would be able to mint the same one, but it's so smart and intriguing that you create one, right? So now you're emotionally tied to the project and you don't mint it, and now you're either going to say, oh, look at my Disco Kitty that I created, this person has it, or you might even try to go buy it yourself, which, like you said, will pump up those secondary trading volume numbers. So I think that's amazing. I think I'm gonna go. Are you guys still doing whitelist for that, by the way?
Yeah. You can go to disco.fm to apply for whitelist, or you can just go to Disc. The other way we're whitelisting people through it is if you just design a couple, right? You have to connect your Phantom wallet to design some. So we'll like be able to whitelist your address if you just create a couple. So it's disco.fm/custom. Yeah, and then the other thing with it is you just get some like, because they have that human touch. Like when you randomly generate a project, you get a lot of like random characteristics, and
Right.
some just kind of they don't match or vibe, which is cool. Those ones are awesome as well. But when you're allowed to, like, when you have the human touch of like, hey, I'm gonna like kind of go with a color theme. I'm gonna pick some traits that are all like red, right? You get some really cool looking NFTs that just like kind of almost look a little bit better, and they're more personalized and stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun. But yeah, we're whitelisting. So yeah.
I personally, over the weekend, I'm going to go whitelist one. That sounds super dope.
You know, last week we were up here and we mentioned that I was going to buy my first NFT.
Oh, he did.
And your boy pulled the trigger. Fine.
So someone said HP said Disco Kitty going to eat Ninja Larry.
So anyways, pull up my laptop here. Look, this is
I got how proud he is of this, Forrest. Look,
it's my first
like
NFT, man. Your boy excited.
Right
it's like
here,
my first baby here. So I do have I got a bird at home named Larry, and he's the very similar color. Looks just like him.
Just yeah. Even the samurai sword and the glasses and everything.
There it is.
So it's pretty cool.
So,
all right, Forrest.
Nice. Very cool.
We wanted to thank you again for coming on our show, bringing some valuable insight to our community and to us. So we appreciate you as always, my friend. If you want to whitelist and create your own Disco Kitty, it is disco.fm/custom. I personally would be doing one. Robin, would you be doing
put it
one?
in the description?
No, I will.
We'll add it right now. So, yeah, I'll take it out.
Yeah,
I'm now.
You're an NFT aficionado now.
That's right.
We're excited for us. Thank you so much again, man. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for having me on.
Take care,
Enjoy
brother.
your
My
weekend.
pleasure. Thank you.
Peace.
Have a good one.
That is such a dope idea.
Yeah.
Seriously, because my initial thought was, well, the whole lottery system, like people trying to strike you rich or, get the one of one, that's out the window. But little did I know, you don't get to mint your own thing. Amazing idea. Forrest, man, he's got so much good insight. The whole tech review thing, like that didn't even cross my mind. But anyways, speaking of the tech review and Solana, we are moving into our next segment of the show with a great segue, the hot take.
That's hot.
Robin, what is our hot take for today?
All right. Today's hot take is, are you buying? Are you going to put your name down on the pre-sale for the new phone?
Solana phone. Okay.
Like, so, are you going to get it on day of release? Are you not going to get it at all?
Like, am I going to stand in line?
Because you can reserve it. From my understanding is you can reserve your phone. I think there's like a long list already. And so I don't know if you'd stand out. I don't think anybody stands in lines anymore. I think you just put your
not when the graphics cards hit Best Buy, bro. There's people camping at night.
Hey,
Do you remember that?
There's a surplus of graphics cards now.
Yeah, now they're
looking for them.
So for some context, Rocco, will you pull up my laptop, please? Just gonna highlight this article really quick. Solana is planning to release a mobile phone, marking one of the industry's first attempts, which it wasn't the first. First attempt was, I think, 4 years ago by Syrian Labs. That failed. Included in the phone will be a dApp store, the Solana software development kit, and hardware private key security measures. It would be dope if it could store your seed phrase somehow, right? To your wallet, that'd be cool. It'll launch on Android. Users will be able to download decentralized trading platforms and NFT marketplaces, and the dApp store is to be released without any fees. Users can now pre-order it on the website for 100 USDC, US dollar stablecoins. So,
Cost
$1,000.
Damn.
They're trying to compete with Apple here.
You getting one of these there, bro?
Nah.
No.
All right. So after we give our take, we're going to share some really funny tweets. Twitter was on fire yesterday with this when this thing came out.
People were hating,
You know what? I was gonna be a hater, but if we're looking at if this had Cardano, Ethereum, Avalanche's name behind it, BNB's name behind it, I would be a lot more excited. But because it's Solana, it's like we don't really trust them on their mainnet, but we're going to trust them with a phone. But in the grand scheme of things, for the crypto space in general, I think this is great. It's probably going to fail. It's probably going to have issues. But guess what? The first to market usually has some issues and people see it and they build upon it and eventually you have a perfected product, this will slap Apple in the face and say, wake up, get into blockchain. What are you doing? I'm not an Android guy. I'm an iPhone guy myself. So if I decide to spend $1,000, it won't be to replace my iPhone with it. It'll just be to have extra, play around with it. I think it's cool. I think I agree with Forrest about helium. One of our community members, I believe it was Niami, said there's something similar 5G like HNT, but on the actual Solana network, which is called Pollen. So she thinks he or she thinks that's going to happen. But regardless, it's going to bring eyeballs to the crypto community. It's going to put eyeballs on the Solana. Solana's brand will grow from this, whether the project fails or doesn't. All they got to do is slap a beta name behind it, and they'll be good, right? Solana phone beta, just like their mainnet. What's wrong with you,
Bro, I am in absolute utter disbelief of what I'm hearing over here.
Why?
You are bullish on a Solana phone? Get out of here,
Forrest
bro.
changed my mind, bro. Forrest changed my mind. That man is persuasive.
This man has literally been on our show for the last... Since we launched this damn thing,
I just said it's
hating
probably
and throwing
gonna,
shade on Solana.
I said it's
All of a
probably
sudden,
gonna
they're
fail.
coming out with a Nokia track phone version,
You
and
are-
you're over
I'm gonna get
here.
in trouble.
Pretty nice, bro.
I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm not gonna say this, but you are like those certain groups of people that only hear what they want to hear. Selective hearing. I said I'd be so much more excited if it was
select to
Cardano.
hear
Blah blah blah.
certain stupid ass comments. Now listen here. Why the hell you got to build a whole phone? Why don't you just launch an app or a freaking a blockchain version of it? The interface. Like,
Yeah.
all you got to do. You don't need to build a whole phone. We're not all of a sudden releasing Solana laptops.
It's
We're not
gotta
releasing
be-
Solana cars.
it's a brand,
just,
bro.
Just put the freaking application on the phone. That's all you got to do.
You know,
put a Solana
was Apple
application.
100% when they started? No.
Listen.
I might FOMO in a Solana, man. I'm not kidding.
You are talking straight gibberish right now.
I
okay?
am, but Forrest convinced me.
Yeah, why wouldn't
Forrest
all you gotta
convinced
do?
me.
All you gotta do is make a Solana app and put it on the phone.
But it's not the same.
Why you gotta
Listen,
build a whole phone from the top bottom? What are you gonna
I used
mine
to
with
build-
a cell phone? Get out of
I used
here,
to
bro.
build phones, man. I used to build phones. I'm telling you, it's better to do it this way.
You did not build phones. What are you talking about?
He's right. I didn't build phones.
You can't even put an IKEA cabinet together.
You caught me. You leave IKEA and those meatballs out.
Oh my god!
Okay, no,
He
it
said
is-
I used to build phones.
I'm not saying okay. It's absolutely coming. Blockchain integration with cell phones, utility and cell phones, the dApps on cell phones. Yes. But why the hell you got to build a whole new phone from top to bottom? What are they going to put in that phone that is so different from every other phone? Like, get out of here.
Literally,
bro.
I just read it. Cosmo or Solana SDK. They're gonna put in dApps. They're gonna put in.
You could put all that in on
They're
a
gonna
dApp.
put in-
You could put
they're
an
gonna
app
have
on a phone.
Solana emojis.
You could go on iOS. You could go on iOS. You could
They're
scroll
gonna have
down.
Solana emojis.
Get the emojis out of here, bro. Look, you could have the app, Solana app on your phone, and then you could just click it, and everything you just said
Listen,
could be
man.
on the app. Why you got to
Listen.
build a phone from the top bottom?
Listen,
bro?
there is one positive. There is a positive to this. Okay, Rocco, pull up my laptop.
Please.
Pull up my laptop, Rocco. The Solana phone is bullish for humanity because forced downtime will liberate many minds and lives. We will be forced to step away from our phones and spend time with our families. That's not a positive. That's a net positive, bro. That is from at Mune21 on Twitter. That is a positive. Imagine if your phone's not working, what are you gonna do? You're gonna talk to your wife, your kids, your friends. You might return my text sometimes.
Talk to
See
Larry,
what
bro.
I'm saying?
How can I return a text if the phone is broke? Okay, just make the dApp. If the dApp goes down, that's it, man. That's all you need. You just need an application. iOS, click, download, run the app on your iPhone, on your Samsung device. Why you gotta build a phone from the ground up?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right.
That's all. That's it.
I'm snapping back to reality, okay? Obviously, I was trolling a little bit. Now, Solana, not a good track record, but I'd rather have someone throw this out there than no one throw it out there.
I think it's bullish. I just don't understand why you got to build the hardware.
Well, he's not a developer, so we
it's
can't.
just like it's the same. Like, why not build a Solana laptop? Be like, well, Solana laptop will run Solana network. Be like, so does a regular laptop. Like, when it has an app on the phone, like, but put the app on the regular phone. Like, why you got to build the phone from the
Because
ground up?
everything's integrated. It's more seamless.
That's all I'm saying,
Let's
man.
see what Twitter thought, okay? So these are some of the funny ones I found. Imagine shorting Solana on your Solana phone and it bricks. This is from Gains, at Gains XBT. Android homies, knowing that Solana phone users are going to be made fun of more than them. Don't you hate it when you're in a group text, Rocco, and one person, everything shows up green because someone's got an Android, Rocco, right? Hey, you return my phone call. Speaking of returning phone calls, here's from Twicrates. She didn't leave you on red, bro. It's a Solana phone. She didn't get the text. So if you're trying to reach out to a lady or a gentleman, whoever you're trying to get with, a significant other, you can blame the Solana phone. That alone, people are gonna buy it. Well, babe, I don't know. I didn't get a text.
Yeah. How
Now
much
it's more believable.
Okay, so the standard insurance on the phone is $15. You think this one's gonna be like $45? Because
150
of risk. Because you know, like when you
We need to collateralize 1-to-1 here. $1,000 collateral to replace. We did do a poll for the community whether you're going to buy a Solana phone. Make sure you go vote. Also, it looks like we have a newcomer in the chat. I don't know if it's Coro or Choro or Choro.
Churro! Hola! Welcome, Sin City Crypto.
By the way, are you a fan of Disneyland churros?
I've never been to Disneyland.
I'm going.
It looks too corporate and overpriced for me, man.
It is very, very
I would
overpriced.
rather just go camping than to go spend $5,000
Take your
on
kids to
going there.
Disneyland.
Like, how about this? I go camping, I bring a portable TV, and we watch Disney movies. You know what
You're
I mean?
so cheap, bro.
Dude, it's
You're
not,
cheap.
It's not as cheap
All
as
right,
I thought
so-
David was
I feel
cheap,
like it's
bro.
a waste of
I
money.
gotta tell you guys, I gotta come clean. So it was me, my wife, my two boys, 9-year-old, 7-year-old. At the time, the 7-year-old was 6 or was 4. We go on the Star Wars ride, and he starts crying in the middle of the ride. So I think he's scared. Come to find out, this dude pissed himself on the ride. We get up, the seat is the whole row of seat. It's seeped everywhere. It was piss everywhere. That had to shut that ride down for an hour to sanitize it.
That
So-
was your kid?
Yeah, so we walked out, and I was like, you better put your head down. If anyone finds out we're the reason they paused this. So if you were there that day and you were trying to ride the Star Wars ride around 11:20 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I apologize on behalf of
bro.
myself.
Amazing story, man.
Thank you, Rob.
It's a good one.
At least it's
Like,
like,
let me tell you about my story when I had a barbecue and I ate corn.
he already told us that story, remember? Oh, that was off air. All right,
Did you guys see Daniel's?
let's move on. We're moving on to our next segment of our show, which is our talking points. What is so funny? What'd you guys put in those cookies over there?
Daniel said he has 16 missed calls on his Solana phone.
Oh, that's good. I got 16 missed calls. Oh, that was great. Man, I love our community. Our community is hilarious. Where's Sean? Sean's always bringing the comedy, man. Anyways. So, a little bit more serious news. I know we've had a lot of fun here. God, by the way, if it's your first time here, we like to bring you important crypto information. We also like to have a fun time. We like for you to engage with us in that fun time. So, you throw a funny comment out there, we will read it. So, be funny. Harmony won. Okay, this is big news. Robin's a big fan of Harmony. I'm a fan, not as big as Robin. Robin's pretty bullish on Harmony. Their Horizon Bridge was hacked for $100 million. Now, we've seen hacks of 500 million, 200 million. Dude, so 100 million might not seem a lot, but when you think about Harmony One being, what would you call it, a small or a mid cap? Probably a mid cap.
It's actually outside the
Top 100?
100 right now.
So
It's
it
number
just-
101.
Okay, but is it over $1 billion in market value?
No.
Okay, so I would say it's a small cap.
It's 300
Okay,
million.
small cap. All right, so everyone's is different. It says the mics are echoing. Will we mute Eddie Rocco?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that, Talks. We appreciate it. So some people think small cap is under 10 million. I say if you're under 500 million or $1 billion, you're a small cap, in my opinion. For a small cap like Harmony, to get hacked for 100 million, that could break you in a bear market. So here's what happened. The Horizon Bridge to the Harmony Layer 1 blockchain has been exploited for 100 million in altcoins, which are being swapped for Ether. The hack may vindicate previously raised community concerns about the robustness of the 2 of 4 multi-sig wallet that reportedly secures the bridge. The Horizon Bridge facilitates token transfers between Harmony and the Ethereum network, Binance Chain, and Bitcoin. The Harmony team also said it was working with, quote, national authorities and forensic specialists to determine who is responsible. And I want to show this tweet real quick. It's a pretty cool graphic. This is from Twitter user at ZachXBT. Not a fan of BitBoy. Him and BitBoy had a little quabble on Twitter. So I hope BitBoy, if you're watching, we don't endorse this, man. We just showed his tweet. Harmony Bridge attackers. So ERC Bridge, Binance Stablecoin Bridge, and the ETH Bridge, they hacked about 86,000, I believe, Ether coins? Whatever the case may be. But here's a little diagram for you to take a look at. Now, Robin, are you less bullish on
Hell yeah.
on Harmony now?
Absolutely, man. Okay, here's the thing. You're gonna be in a bear. When you're in a bear market, you're already susceptible for absolute collapse, right?
Right.
You have a fine line because you got to think about. Let's say, for instance, you're running a business. Say you got a store at the mall. You had all kinds of Obviously, if you got a shop in the mall, Christmas season comes in, you're raking in the dough. However, come middle of March or something, when ain't nobody really at the mall shopping, you can't all of a sudden take some big ass L. You can't all of a sudden like try to if you get hit with a lawsuit, you have a slip and fall, and you're getting sued for $1 million. You probably can't come back from that if you are already in the middle of a down period, and so really concerning. And there's just too many projects out there that have so much potential to rally back or just to have that first rally on the next bull market. So anything in the anything that's an altcoin that you're investing in right now in the middle of a bear market, anything you're investing in now, you have a potential for like what, 50x, maybe 100x, maybe 150, 200x.
If it could bounce back from this, man.
But here's the thing, that those projects, there's going to be about 100 of them, if not more, right? If you look at, you're for whatever you have now on our top 100, you're going to have a bunch of new players in there. Even the projects that stay in the top 100 in the next bull run will still be 50x's outside the top 50. And so for me, it's like, why take any unnecessary risk? Projects fall apart and go under in the bear market, and their bottom line or their profit or the cost to stay afloat is already pretty tight. And if you all of a sudden lose $100 million, like, dude, that's not good. And you know what? We gave a lot of shade to Voyager for for having that collateralized loan for $600 million.
Right.
And that's a major player. I mean, $600 million, and that's a very substantial exchange there, publicly traded. And we're talking about them going under for that amount. I mean, you have something outside the top 100 that just took $100 million loss. I would be very wary of that. And I've been a big supporter of Harmony One. I really hope they bounce back. And, especially right now, if you were looking to get in this project as like a long shot, first of all, I wouldn't touch it.
Right.
But if you did want to get into it,
so you don't
I
think
would wait for a bigger pullback.
You don't think they can bounce back?
I think they can, but I'm just saying the risk for this is substantial at this point. And why even take that risk? I mean, you could go. I mean, you can go with HP's favorite, Kadena. That's pretty comparable as far as market cap.
He is such a Kadena homer.
And I like Kadena. I'm not as bullish as he is, but Kadena's sitting at number 95 on the market cap list. It's 320 million. Very comparable. I'd feel so much more comfortable with that. I mean, I would feel, you got Convex Finance in the same range, Compound.
Here's the thing.
I mean, too, though, Mina Protocols in here too.
Okay, but on these smaller
synthetics.
Here's the thing: smaller to mid cap. Do you think it's better to wait to get a little deeper into this market to see if there's any other crashes, people borrowing money? wait to see how the Three Arrows Capital situation unfolds.
I wouldn't buy anything outside the top 50 right now because I think we're going to have a further pullback. That's my investment strategy. You guys can do whatever y'all want. You know, here's the thing. You want to buy altcoins at the bottom, right? At the market bottom, at the bear market bottom, you want to buy altcoins. Those are going to have your biggest returns.
Right.
Now, with that said, if you think we're at the bottom, then yeah, go for it. I don't think we're at the bottom. So because, if Bitcoin dips another 80%, say Bitcoin dips 80% from where it is now, $20,000, dips 80%, gets to 12,000, right?
Right.
And if that's the case, I mean, what do you think these altcoins are going to be at? They're going to dip a lot harder than 80,000.
Right.
And so for that reason, and I don't think Bitcoin's going all the way down to 12, but 15,000, 16,000, absolutely in the cards. I think that's in play. I think that's a price target. And when Bitcoin reaches that level, that is when I'm going to start looking at these altcoins, because that's when you're going to be able to get your Cadena for less than $1, 50 cents. That's when you can get your Mina for 10 cents. That's when you can get your AMP for, 90, for even an extra 95% off where it is now. Engine Coin sitting at number 75 with a $400 million market cap. This will probably be 25 cents. Like, that's a steal. Pancake Swap.
What's
this was in the top 20 at one point.
Pancake Swap got up to like $40.
Dude,
where's Quant?
Could you imagine Pancake Swap at like 75 cents?
Yeah. That's I think that's too far now. Where's Quant?
What do you mean? I mean, if you
I'm very bullish on Quant. I'm with Talks on this one. I'm super bullish on Quant. What they're doing overseas right
Quant
there,
sitting at 56
got
bucks.
up to over $400.
I mean, waves. I mean, these are all like 100x possibilities.
I'm waiting for a $40 Quant.
If they pull back more than they're at now. If Bitcoin hits 16,000, I'm going to be licking my chops on where these prices are going to be at. And
don't lick them too much, then you dry your lips. All right. And my kids do it all the time. They lick their lips.
Yeah, you do it too, bro. Yeah, bro.
Why are you here, Eddie? The backup Robin? All right. We're going to breeze through these next couple.
You leave my backup over.
Shut your mouth. All right, real quick. FTX is in talks to acquire BlockFi stake. The Wall Street Journal reports. They're considering taking a stake in crypto lender BlockFi. Now, if you remember, they did bail out BlockFi. FTX did. Now they're looking to buy some of the company. Robin, is this good or bad? Just make it quick.
I mean, I guess it's good, but they're exposing themselves to a lot of risk. And, all it takes is one of these companies that they're heavily invested in to go under, and it could cause significant harm to the parent company. And so if you lend, as an example, $500 million out to Voyager, and then they don't come through on their debt, I mean, how do you recover from that? And, if Voyager...
The dude's making $1 billion contribution to a political campaign. He's got money, bro. The dude's got money. Look at his hair.
I'm just saying, man, that, yeah, bullish, but just be careful, man. See, now...
The dude's going ham. He's like, when there's fear,
where's he getting this
there's
money
blood
from?
in the streets.
Where's he getting all his money from, anyways?
Shh, we don't talk about those things on air. I'm neither a fan nor a detractor to this whole situation. FTX, I mean, I guess they're trying to put their hands in multiple pots, trying to monopolize out here, but I don't know. I'm in agreement with Commissioner Hester Pierce and CZ that came out and said, I don't think these companies should be bailed out. I agree. I think through failure, a lot more is learned, and the industry can grow faster through a failure and a complete collapse than people getting bailed out. Because you look at what did they do wrong? How did it play out?
They also learn with the bailout. You know what I mean? Because
hell no. You need that thing to burn to the ground.
No. But
You
here's
need
the
it to
thing.
burn to the ground
Here's
before
the
you can
thing.
pick the pieces up.
Okay, the bailouts aren't the same as the federal government bailouts. That's a different story. That's just you're handing somebody money. Here, you're basically borrowing. And so they're not getting money for free. They're not getting a handout and then just getting bailed out. So now you're looking and it's like buying something you couldn't afford and you bought it. You're going to be regretting it with every monthly payment that you have to make. When you have to work extra shifts because you're like, oh, you know what? I shouldn't have bought that car. It was a little too pricey. Or you know what? Maybe I should have got a slightly smaller house. Or maybe I shouldn't have did this or that. And when you overexpose yourself and you have to pay for it down the road, you learn your lesson, man. And you're going to be a lot more weary next time. You think, okay, here's a question. Do you think Voyager is going to offer uncollateralized loans in the form of how many 9 figures? What's
9 figures is $1 billion.
No,
10
figures.
10 figures is $1 billion.
Yeah, so 9 figures. So, $100 million loans, $600 million loans. Do you think that they're going to do that anymore? No. But who
Yeah, because
probably
daddy's there to bail
But
him out.
you know who probably would? Maybe a new up and coming company that didn't go through this already. And so if you take your punches, you learn, you barely get out of the bear market and you come out the other side stronger.
Listen, bro.
It's better than a startup.
If you're in a
coming
boxing fight and you're a cocky, arrogant guy, okay, let's look at Floyd Mayweather. Very arrogant, very cocky. I've met him. Very arrogant, very cocky. You think he's going to learn more and become more humble if he just takes a couple jabs to the face and gets a black eye, or whether he gets knocked the F out, gets completely embarrassed on national television?
No, but if you get knocked out and you stand back up and you win, then you are that much better than if you came in, one punch, boom. Then you're cocky. Then, if I have a fight, come in, one punch, boom, I win the match. I think you're gonna have a better mentality if you get punched in the mouth, you get knocked down, you stand up, you win the fight, and then the next one, you realize you ain't invincible.
you get knocked out
We see
cold.
what happens when
You get knocked
UFC
out cold.
fighters all of a
You
sudden
take the
keep
L.
winning fights way too fast.
You gotta take the L, bro.
They get cocky and then
That'll make him more cocky. Like, look, I can take punches to the face and I still won. No, you got to get knocked out, take the L, KO, TKO, whatever you want, and then reassess. That's what I think.
What happens when these big fighters lose their first match?
Are you trying to fight me?
What I'm saying, when the big fighters lose their first match, they never come back to the greatness they were. Because
Maybe they were never meant to be great.
yeah, well, a lot of times the best
You can't bounce back from a loss. You're not great. Sorry. All right. 2 more articles to talk about, Robin. So let's keep this quick, okay? So some good news coming out of the Ronin Axie Infinity issue drama saga. The Axie Infinity developer to reimburse users from the June 28th or users on June 28th after losing $620 million in the hack. If you're not familiar, in March of this year, a hack caused Sky Mavis, which is the company behind Axie Infinity, to lose more than $620 million. You might know it as the Ronin hack. The company behind the popular metaverse game has said that it plans to compensate consumers on June 28th and reopen the software bridge that was compromised in the assault. As soon as the bridge reopens, users will be able to withdraw 1 ETH for every one they had in March. In April, the company successfully completed a fundraising round that totaled $150 million and was headed by crypto exchange Binance. This is the right thing to do, man. This is the absolute right thing to do. Over $500 million, and they're going to refund that money back to the users. That's amazing. That's how you restore faith. That's how you restore faith in your project through your community. Robin?
good.
Yeah.
They're gonna stay afloat.
I know, that's what I'm saying. There's not much to add, just important. Are you the one putting it in there? Are you typing? Who's typing in the chat? You?
No,
Rocco?
Rocco.
No, it wasn't me.
One of you's lying. It's Eddie. It's because he's wearing a stupid ass Dodgers shirt. All right, a couple more things real quick on the NFT side. Rocco, you want to roll our NFT intro?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Eddie, did you see our NFT on there?
Yeah.
You did. All right, so this one is huge. I've been meaning to talk about this for 2 days, but we ran out of time. Binance inks a multi-year NFT deal with arguably the largest, I would say, like as far as brand athlete in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo, the arguable GOAT of football, as we know in America, soccer. That is a following.
Ronaldo!
Four-
É o meu primo! That's my cousin, my dude. Yeah, that's my Portuguese cousin, in case you didn't know. Your boy, Cristiano Ronaldo, also known as AKA Portuguese Ronaldo. He is also Portuguese, just like your boy here. And absolutely one of our greatest exports in the history of Portugal outside of corks for wine. Yeah, so whatever you got to say, super bullish. I don't even care what the article says. Thank you.
Wow. Anyways, the dude has 460.
Hola! That's Portuguese, huh? Just saying.
He has 460 million followers on Instagram. So they're coming together his tweet, okay? He tweeted, "Together we'll give you opportunity to own an iconic piece of sports history." And in the first hour of that tweet, it had 48 million impressions. That is the stature of this man and the eyeballs he's going to bring to the NFT market. Now, multiple collections based on CR7, which is his logo, will launch exclusively on Binance NFT Marketplace, with the first expected to drop sometime later this year. Also, we have a super chat. Marky Mark. Right, Marky Mark? Marky Mark, he's super chatted us, said, "Amazing shows all week, Sin City. I caught everyone. Love being in this fan." Well, we love having you as fan, my friend. Thank you so much for being an integral part of our growing community. We appreciate you, and we appreciate every single one of you as well. Last one, not really important.
Hold on.
Rocco already knows what's coming. You know what's coming, right, Rocco?
Tell me your boy don't kind of look like Ronaldo. I told you we're cousins.
You're such a clown, bro.
Pull
You are such a clown, dude.
Tell me we don't look the same, bro. That's my cousin, bro. That boy look handsome. How you doing?
Funny.
And you know we have the Solana version of Ronaldo.
He's the Solana version of Ronaldo. Yes. That was the comment of the month right there. Robin is the Solana version of Ronaldo.
You're telling me you don't
Rocco,
see,
you get a raise.
you don't see the similarities there.
Rocco, you get a raise.
You don't see the similarities?
Not really. I don't see similarities in bank account. I don't see similarities in followers. I don't see similarities in a lot of things. All right, so this last article, only because I'm being a little selfish here, and I really want to say, Fashion Brown Salvatore Ferragamo opens Ethereum NFT. Rocco, you knew that was coming, right?
Of course.
You knew that was coming. Opens Ethereum NFT booth in NYC. So in all seriousness, they're one of the most well-known luxury fashion brands, and they're joining the swelling ranks of designers who are hopping into NFTs. Ferragamo has installed an NFT booth where customers can create and mint their own Ethereum NFTs from a menu of traits and a limited edition capsule collection of physical items consisting of 200 t-shirts and 150 sweatshirts. Rocco, are you bullish?
Absolutely.
I love it. You know, Crypto Bandito's back. Welcome. Welcome back. Glad that you joined us on the last 2 minutes of the show. Either way, we appreciate it. You know, Eddie, for being a social guru, he was quite quiet today. Very quiet.
Mike's messed up, bro. Keep
Oh,
echoing.
is Mike's messed up? So he's got,
Yeah.
got an excuse this time?
Yeah.
I got an excuse.
No, we need to fire our equipment manager here.
My laptop.
Kidding. Honestly, to those of you that have been in our studio, you understand how complex our setup is. So, and you're talking about 4 people here who have no experience in audio equipment, video equipment, and this is mostly falls on Robin, and he was the one behind this whole equipment
Yeah,
thing.
you see that giant computer over there on the studio?
Yeah,
Look at
he
that
built
thing.
both those
Thing's got, like,
computers. There's another
Robin
one
has
right
my
behind
mic.
it.
Robin has the mic coming out of my
Yeah,
hat.
the
Look at this.
streaming PC, the regular
mean,
PC.
it
We
is-
have-
Rocco, put the
we
camera
have-
on me.
We have 4 mixer boards, bro.
Literally
mixer
four
boards.
mixer
Robin
boards.
told me to wear my camera. Like,
Such a clown, bro. So yeah, we know we run into some issues sometimes, guys, and you know we appreciate you holding strong with us. And of course, we appreciate if you do see an issue, whether visually or audio, in the chat, throw it out there, and we can fix it on the fly. Our man Rocco is the Swiss Army knife of fixing things on the fly. But anyways, we are done for the show today. It was an amazing week. We had a great time. We hope you guys had a fun time with us. A big shout out to Crypto Blood and Forrest for joining us this week on our show. Also, I did drop the link to the Disco Kitties disco.fm/custom. I personally am going to do it myself. I don't have a Phantom wallet. I'm going to go create one just so I can create a Disco Kitty NFT. And if you create one, make sure you share it on Twitter. Tag us, tag Forrest. Forrest, such a great person. I 100% believe the project that he's doing, Disco Kitties, will be a success just based off of the man behind the project. Hell yeah, I'm going to do one. You going to do one, Robin? Let's do a Sin City one.
Do it.
Let's do it. All right. On behalf of myself, Robin, Rocco, Eduardo, we thank you guys again for an amazing week. We will see you guys Monday, 10:30 a.m. Vegas time. Until then, my friends, enjoy your weekend. We love you guys. Peace. Peace.
I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turned into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turned into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. Smoking on the island, say she wanna ride with me. Took her on a flight, said all her bags from Italy. I sent her with a friend, they shopping there religiously. Whoa, whoa, yeah. You say she love me, but that's when she rockin' Prada bag. Said she ready for the next, I won't, not so fast. Slow down, slow down, slow down, girl, don't you crash. Whoa, whoa, yeah. Cause we can mess up that pretty face, but we can fuck up that pretty lady. Tryna kiss up, I'm in your place. Man, this shit so crazy. Never thought I'd be doing shit like this again. Put that effort in, girl, then I repay you. Crash that thing out the park, now I feel like Babe Ruth, baby. This shit I can't do, baby. No, I can't move, baby. Nothing I can't prove, baby. I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turned into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. I got 16 missed calls on my phone. Times change, Mickey D's turned into Rabuchon. Kick my feet up, drink leader, smoke on a new strong. Couple margaritas, senoritas, I goof off. Question marks along your brain, wonder if you should try again. Look at me inside your braces. Can't focus when we face to face. Plenty things I could go say. Name a place I go and pay it. Said she want no boo. Been around the world, plenty things I can show you. Taking flights to GA for our soul food. Gotta pay 1K for GA at my shows too. Keep it 1K with my fans even at my lows. Ooh. That's why I'm back. Show your man